everyone, my name is Chelsea and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I am talking about the top 10 2022 new releases I wish I read in 2022. So there is a baby down here on my lap, so you might see a head come in and out of focus just because of where she's sitting. She's also making a little bit of noise because she's trying to like grab stuff. But yeah, today we're talking about some of the new releases of 2023 that I either own or have arcs of. I think pretty much every single one on this list. Yeah, every single one on this list I either own or have an arc of. And so they are new releases that I desperately wanted to read this year in 2022, and I did not get to. And so this is just my, like, list of regret of things I did not read this year. They're in no particular order, except for I think I did actually alphabetize them by author's last name, so that is the particular order. The first one I have here is The Whispering Dark by Kelly Andrew. This is the Illumicrate edition, but it is also one of my anticipated releases. Like, I definitely talked about it in an anticipated releases video because it sounded so interesting. It's going to follow a character who is deaf because the author is deaf as well. And I believe she is trying to solve something going on at her school potentially, and there is like a ghost boy who I think she knew previously. I will say my synopses of a lot of these are probably not going to be very good because I do like to go into books blind once I have already determined that I have an interest in them. So I definitely did want to read this. The only reason I haven't really is because it's one of our newest Illumicrate additions to our shelves, and so I just never really picked it up, but I really do want to. And like I said, very, very pretty Illumicrate edition. The next one I have here is another Illumicrate edition. It is The Book Eaters by Soon-Yi Dean. This one, again, I feel like is just one of our, you know, more recent editions. Although I think this is the one that came right before The Whispering Dark. And I just haven't had a chance to pick it up. I don't know much about this one either, except for our main character is supposed to be a mother. And I'm very, very intrigued by that. I do believe there is also some sort of actual, like, book eating. I don't know what that means in this world. It's not very long compared to some other books, and I've heard good things about this. And so I definitely want to read it, and I just haven't picked it up. It's going to be very hard for me to show you guys covers and stuff with a baby on my lap. But I also really love the naked hardcover of this one. It's just so, so nice. Then I have Wild is the Witch by Rachel Griffin. This one I actually did have as an arc as well, but I knew I wanted to buy it because for this author's first edition books, at least so far, the first two of them, they do have pretty naked hardcovers under them, and so I definitely needed to get it because it's only for like the first edition, first printing, whatever. And this is going to be a YA witchy book. I read The Nature of Witches by this author last year, absolutely fell in love with it, and so I knew I needed to read this one. They are not companion novels or sequels as far as I'm aware. They're just both witchy stories. I don't even know if they're technically set in the same world or not, but I have not read it. I think part of it is because this book did come out around when I had Elliot. There she is. And yeah, I want to read it. I've actually had it on a poll pick recently that you guys did not pick, so that's part of the reason we're not reading it right now, is because another book won, but I want to read it. Then I have Husband Material by Alexis Hall. This is the sequel to Boyfriend Material that I read by this author in 2020. Absolutely loved, 5 out of 5 stars. That book was not originally going to have a sequel as far as I know, but this is the sequel to Boyfriend Material. I don't know much else about it except for it's going to follow the same characters. It says husband material, so maybe they're going to be getting married. I'm very excited for it. I pre-ordered this. I have not read it. I definitely want to, but I haven't. Then I have Love and Other Disasters by Anita Kelly. This is a book that was actually gifted to me at the very beginning of this year by Michelle. I will leave her channel linked down below. And I definitely want to read this because I love romance. This is definitely adult romance, but also one of our characters, one of our main characters is going to be non-binary, and I have not really seen that much in these like romance books, and I'm just so curious on how it's done. Like, I am so excited for this one, but I haven't picked it up. Part of the reason is because I had this one and my physical reading has just sort of flown out the window. Like, I have so many more books that I have read as an ebook versus a physical book, but I want to read this one. Like, I definitely need to read this, want to read this so much. and I haven't. Then I also have Flip the Script by Lila Lee. This one actually was, as you can guess because I don't have a physical book here, an ARC that I was supposed to read because I absolutely loved I'll Be the One. Like, it's on my favorite shelves over here because I loved it that much. I loved I'll Be the One by Lila Lee, and so this is Flip the Script. This is not, again, a sequel or companion, just like another book by this author. I do believe it's going to follow some of a similar premise. I'll Be the One was a, like, singing, dancing competition sort of thing. Flip the Script, I believe, is going to be more movie, TV show-ish, but it is going to follow a character who I believe is bisexual, since the character in I'll Be the One was as well, and it's going to be like a cute YA romance rom-com sort of thing, and I just haven't read it yet. Then I also have American Royalty by Tracy Livesey. So this was another one that I was desperate to get to, but it came out around when I had Elliot, and so I did not get to it. This one is going to be sort of a play on like Prince Harry, Meghan Markle sort of thing. It's going to be like the Prince of England, and we have an American. This one's actually going to be a singer who sort of gets booked to sing, I think, at like the Queen's birthday or something like that. And yeah, I was very, very curious and excited about this one, but I just haven't read it yet. And I do feel bad about that because, like, I was so excited and then I had a kid. I also have The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. This is the newest Riley Sager, the only Riley Sager I have not read yet. And so because of that, I want to read it. These are thrillers. Like, they are so easy to get through. Like, I literally probably could pick this up right now and get through it in a couple days, except for the fact that it's a hardcover physical book, so it might actually take a little bit longer than I usually get with these. I'm trying to get back into reading after the kids go to bed, but sometimes that's still hard. But all I know about this one, I believe, is following a character who is like sort of friends with the woman across the lake, and then one day she notices that she's sort of missing and her husband isn't, and stuff goes from there. I'm assuming she's going to try and investigate it. It is going to be like a mystery thriller. I've liked a lot of the other Riley Sagers that I've read. Everything's been at least 3 stars or higher, and so I definitely want to read this one. I also have Gallant by V.E. Schwab. I love a lot of the V.E. Schwab stuff that I have read. I've not read everything, and I know a lot of her books are very different tonally, for different audiences, that kind of stuff, but I want to read this one so bad. It is a YA, like, I don't want to say haunted house necessarily, but it is about the house. It's about this character that is going back to this house and realizing that there might be like 2 different sides to it. I don't know much else. It is also very short. This is the Illumicrate edition, so again, very, very gorgeous. But the vibes felt perfect for like the October spooky season, and I just didn't end up picking it, or didn't end up getting to it. This might have been a poll pick again where you guys picked something else that I read instead. But yeah, this is one that I wanted to read. I love like the red and black stuff. Almost all of her books that end up being red and black, I love. So like, I need to read this one, and I haven't yet. And then the last one I have on this list is Fault Tolerance by Valerie Valdez. This is the 3rd book in the Chilling Effects series. I've read the first 2, obviously. Really enjoyed them, so I requested an ARC of this one, which obviously I got, and I did not read it yet. This I can't really get into too much because it is going to be the 3rd in a series. I think there's even going to be more after this potentially, but it is very sci-fi. There are aliens, there is some romance and found family vibes like in the first couple books that I absolutely loved, and the end of book 2 has this like big sort of cliffhanger, like where are we going next, and obviously we're going to book 3 next. And I haven't read it. I also just love the covers of Valerie Valdez's books, like these. They're all like so well illustrated. Like, I love the illustration style, but I love the fact that obviously we're in space and we have psychic cats, because like that is something that is in these books. A little bit in book 1, more in book 2, and I'm hoping even more in book 3 because I feel like we're getting more and more cats on the cover each time we get into these books. But yeah, this was the 3rd book in a series that again came out around June, July, August, sometime after I had her, who's getting a little bit cranky and wants a nap. And so yeah, I just did not read it yet. Yeah. So this is me just sort of airing all of my, this is the stuff I should have read, and I'm sure there's even more, but these are like the top 10 that I definitely feel bad that I didn't get to, or like really, really wanted to get to and I didn't. So yeah, that's what this video is. Those are my top 10 books I really wish I read, new releases, I should say. There's probably other books like backlist stuff that I wish I read too, but these are the new releases I really wish I read. Let me know what your like biggest regret is for not reading this year, because I'm just so curious. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up to let me know. Subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see more videos. I am currently doing the 12 days of Bookmas, so I will have another video up tomorrow, and I will see you then. Bye!